Well, here with me in the studio now is Bill Roedy. He's president of MTV International. Bill, thanks very much for coming in. Interesting time for the music business. Obviously, this is slightly outside your arena than the Napster Bertelsmann business and the fact that the likes of Sony are even threatening lawsuits against Napster. Is that a positive move for them to be taking, from your point of view?
Oh, it is a good question. I think eventually it'll all be sorted out. We have had our arguments with the record industry as well. It's a love-hate relationship sometimes, but we're very intertwined, obviously, because they provide the music and the music videos, and I think Napster will find the same sort of situation. They're going to find a way, and my hat's off to Napster for coming up with this amazing brand that's extremely popular with our audience, by the way. I mean, it rates very highly. But they're going to find a way to charge. I mean, the days of free are over. Some people will not do that. Some young people are, they're rebels. They want their music free, so they'll tune out. But if they get enough of a percentage, and I think this is what BMG's arguing, if they get enough of a percentage of that, maybe it's as low as 10%, then that's a success for them.
And can you see the record companies coming online? I mean, no pun intended. Can you see them joining forces with Bertelsmann to, go with Napster as opposed to working against them?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think once they get past the emotion, and if the economic model works to their favor, which again plays into the monthly subscription, which is exactly what Bertelsmann is offering, then I think yes. I think the answer is yes.
It's obviously been a fascinating year, 18-month period for the music business and the media industry more generally. Obviously, we've had Time Warner tie up with AOL, Vivendi tie up with Universal. Do you see any merger activity down the line, either for MTV or for its parent Viacom?
Well, we're always looking, particularly in the international arena. I think because of the frenzy in 2000, I think 2001 will slow down a bit. Just taking our case specifically, we were digesting the merger of CBS and Viacom, which was huge. That was last spring.
Sure.
More recently, we purchased a company called BET, Black Entertainment Television, a very successful network that also has some international operation, which we intend to integrate as much as possible. And it's no secret, we're looking at some other properties. One is the Rainbow Group of properties out of the States, part of Cablevision. There's some others looking at that too, so we don't know who's going to win, but that's our case, and we're going to continue to look at things internationally. But again, I think just generally, although I'm often wrong, I would predict it'll slow down a tad in 2001.
Is internationally the key, though? I mean, obviously, you've just recently launched this Japanese language service. Was that January the 1st that was launched? How's that going?
It's going great. We have, it's what we call soft launch, and then the big bang, if you will, is in April. We're also, in the next 60 days, launching a Philippines 24-hour channel in February, and also a Korean, there's been some deregulation in the market in Korea, and we're launching a 24-hour Korean channel as well. So we're very active internationally. We launched 6 channels in the last half of the year last year. We're up to 62 completely distinct, unique channels reflecting the local culture and language, music, and when it comes to kids and kids programming as well with Nickelodeon. And so we're very active, and really there's no limit, if you will. Even though we have 62 channels, we're going to continue to roll out geographical channels, country-specific, and also as the world turns more digital, which I think internationally leads the States, I think you can say that safely, particularly in markets like the UK, that provides us even a greater opportunity to launch more genre-specific channels, which is the other thing we're doing. So
just to come back to the Japanese channel in particular, I mean, there's obviously potentially a huge market. How many subscribers do you hope to have by the end of this year? Well, we did a nice thing in Japan by acquiring another network. So we're starting off with 3 million already. The irony about Japan is that even though it's one of the most advanced nations in technology and consumer electronics, it's been relatively slow in the development of its multi-channel infrastructure. So it's still early days yet. But that's good news, because that means the growth is all ahead of us. Finally, Bill, where would you say growth is going to be biggest for you in the future? Obviously, the market outside the States has got a lot of catching up to do. Where's going to be the main driving engine behind that catch-up?
Well, interesting. We've been so aggressive on distribution with MTV in our strategy of localizing. I mean, what I like to say is that we've been aggressive, relentless, and creative. So we haven't even waited for cable infrastructure in some countries. And we are already, as of today, if you take all the viewing of all the MTV viewers around the world, 80% of those viewers are outside America. Now, we have to, as they say in the internet world, fully monetize those viewers. And the good news is we have, particularly in Europe, but also increasingly in Latin America and Asia. For the foreseeable future, Europe will be the bulk of the revenue and the profits. Growth rates, however, are higher in Latin America, in Asia. So I don't know if that answers your question, but growth rates higher in Asia, but for the foreseeable future, again, most of the profits out of Europe.
That answers the question just fine. Bill Roedy, MTV President, many thanks indeed for joining us.